What is up, everyone? This is MetallicTCG coming at you guys with a deck profile that has been long overdue, and this is currently SatellarKnight. So, Xyzs are finally out in Duel Links, which is amazing. It's definitely going to change up the entire dynamic of the game, especially the meta, which has definitely been shaken up a little bit. And I felt that the two entry decks that they did introduce, being Boojins and SatellarKnights, are a great kicking off point, just because about what the decks like to do inherently. So, I honestly thought that Satellars would be a great investment into this new upcoming age of Duel Links, considering how great some of the generic rank 4s are, and this is one of the best rank 4 toolboxes at our disposal. So, if you like these type of videos, definitely hit subscribe. It greatly helps the channel, and smash that like button if you want to see more Duel Links content. I would love to push out for you, but for now, let's just run with my current first draft of the build. Now, this is not complete by any means. It's just like basically a starting point what I'm going off with, and I will, at the end of the video, kind of go into what I really want to change up the deck with. So, for now, I'm playing 2 Denebs. Deneb is fantastic. Honestly, 2 or 3 is fine. Currently running 2 because that's all that I have. When this card is summoned, you get to add any SatellarKnight besides Deneb himself in your deck to your hand. Fantastic. Such a great searcher, 1500 attack, it's fine. 4 stars. So, Altair is the next one we play 3 of. This is definitely a must having 3 of just because of the utility he does offer. If this card is summoned, you can target 1 SatellarKnight monster in your graveyard, special summon that monster in defense position. Then monsters you cannot attack unless it's SatellarKnights themselves. So, again, honestly, you're usually going to go into Deltro, so that's not really inherently a bad thing. However, you can still special summon other monsters that are not SatellarKnights, such as Gaga Cowboy. So, you can potentially go for Cowboy for game. 2 SatellarKnight Ukulele, but I usually just call it Ukulele. So Ukulele is really great. It's a Foolish Burial. It sets it up fantastic with the SatellarKnight Altair because once you get it in the graveyard, you can just simply bring it back. So we're playing 2 of them. He's also a 1800 beat stick, which is really nice, especially when you combo it off with Zubaba General. So honestly, pretty good. 2 SatellarKnight Vega. Vega is very good because it generally just contributes to summon Vega, use Vega's effects, special summon Altair. Use Altair's effect, either summon Ukulele or even Deneb to either get a Search or a Foolish Burial-like effect. This is very good, especially with an opening turn 1, just because it helps set up a very powerful board, but also get your graveyard set up the way that you want it to be. But you don't need to run more than 2. It kind of gets squad at that point. We're playing 3 copies of SatellarKnight Skybridge. This is a fantastic card. It does what you need it to do. It pretty much tags out SatellarKnights. Target 1 SatellarKnight monster you control. Special summon 1 SatellarKnight monster with a different name from your deck, and if you do, shuffle the other target back into your deck. While the monster special summon is by the fact is on the field, you cannot special summon monsters except SatellarKnights. So that last part kind of limits the deck what you want to do, but generally you're going to go for Deltros and hopefully Trevere if it gets added to it. So this is fantastic just because, for one, it can be really good for aggression if you're trying to go to clear the game and just simply tag out during the battle phase. But again, it also sets up your deck really well for what you want to do, and also even potentially your graveyard to go into a Deltros play, which, again, Deltros is still a fantastic card nonetheless. We're playing the balance build, so I had to put at least 6, 6, and 6 to kind of help with dead draws and bricks, because sometimes the deck can brick. So, again, because we have some cards that do require specific conditions. I am playing 1 Cosmic Cyclone. Honestly, 1 Cosmic Cyclone is fine for the time being. Getting rid of back row is always a good thing, just because cards like Floodgate Trap Hole, Fiendish Chains can be a problem, so just get rid of them at that point in time. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. We're also playing 2 enemy controllers. Again, I like enemy controller. It's a very good card in my opinion. It can be used defensively, it can be used offensively, and you can also just potentially take your opponent's level 4s and just rank up into them as well in an Xyz summon. So, again, pretty good. Again, it also helps with our balance plays, so I'm pretty happy with that. I am playing 1 copy of Fiendish Chain because that's all I have is 1 copy of Fiendish Chain. This deck generally likes to have good back row and negation and control aspects, so Fiendish Chain does wonders, such as, like, again, Floodgate Trap Hole would be another option as well. Which, honestly, I'm considering running when I get a second copy of, just so I can see it more consistently. 2 Drowning Mirror Force. I'm a scumbag. I really like this card. As long as you're not playing against Tri-Mids or Ancient Gears, generally this card's going to be very live consistently. But again, I just like this card, but I'm going to take it out in my final draft when I get some new cards, which I'll explain in a second. And currently 2 Tellarnovas. Again, when a spell or trap is activated or a monster effect activated, you can send 1 Tellarknight monster you control to the graveyard, negate the activation if you draw 1 card. So again, being a negation plus a draw is a pretty good setup. And again, you can potentially set up things like, you know, putting Altair or Yooka-Laylee or Vega in the graveyard and recur them back later, even Deneb. And the thing is, too, like, if you really have to, you can also simply send your first Deltros to the graveyard, activate its effect to be able to special summon a SatellarKnight monster from your hand or deck, summon Altair, and then just, you know, keep going with your level 4 summoning climbs. They're pretty good. And honestly, one countergate. Honestly, this card, it's a hit or miss. You generally can get the normal summon effect pretty often because, again, we only play level 4 monsters. But honestly, again, this is just something I want to cycle out eventually at some point when I do get the other copies of the cards I do want. Just because, again, some of the other cards I want to add are, in my opinion, inherently better at what they do. So for the monsters, of course, we're playing the one Zubaba General. Zubaba General is fantastic in any warrior deck that does rank 4. So, again, detach one XC material from it, equip one warrior type monster from your hand, and it gains that attack. So, again, summoning a 37 to 3800 monster, pretty good, especially just having to contribute a Vega or something like that, then Deneb. Cowboy, unfortunately, Cowboy is not nearly as strong as it was in the TCG just because main phase 2 is not a thing, and they nerfed it to only 400 points of damage to your opponent, but again, it's still a good card. Number 39, Utopia, again, just a very good card in general. It protects you. It's a pretty respectable 2500 beat stick body. And again, if they release more Utopia support, like the other 39 copy extra decks, again, that's just something more we can look into. 2 Deltros. Honestly, I've never needed the situation of having more than 2. 3 is fine. Again, once per turn, while your opponent, a lot of has a big series material, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects from your normal special summon, so it prevents floodgate trap holes, which is really nice because, again, you want to keep your monsters face up so you can go for your XD summons. Once per turn, you can detach one XD material from this card, target one card on the field, destroy it. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon a SatellarKnight from your hand or deck. So again, the popping effect is great, and just pretty much getting that float effect is really nice as well. So again, using cards like Satellar Nova potentially gives you a little bit more added benefit because you can keep going. 2 Gaga Samurai. Honestly, I'll probably swap this out with like Gaga Gigo Goki, whatever it is, a 2900 rank 3 guy. But honestly, being a monster that can attack twice, it's pretty good. And just being able to also become a defense attack target is not too bad either, but that never really comes up. So again, this is the main deck. It's not optimal by any means, but it's definitely a great starting point for what I want to do with my first draft, especially coming to this new format. I'll make changes as I need to. So currently, the cards that I would love to see added to this deck, and again, post your comments down below because I really want to get a discussion going on and see what people are also running in. Again, I did talk about Floodgate Trap Holes. I would like to get more copies of those. I believe I currently have 1, but I would like 2. And I'd probably swap that out with maybe Fiendish Chain. Although that could change depending on what gets added in the future. I would also like to possibly add another Nova just because it's such a great negation. Like, you can seriously set your opponent back far with that idea. And another card that I do want to add, I want to add Karma Cuts. Karma Cuts are insanely great to the deck because, for one, again, it sets up your graveyard pretty well for your Altair plays to, like, pitch your Vega, summon Altair, use Altair's effect, summon Vega, use Vega's effect to special summon Deneb from your hand, or Yooka-Laylee, and then just keep setting up. So that's really good on its own. But the fact is that you're removing one monster from your opponent's side of the field and then potentially more copies in their deck. It's also huge. It's spotted removal that doesn't destroy because, again, a lot of cards may have protection from destruction, but banishing is a little bit more harder to get around of and protect against it. And I don't really see a lot of Forbidden Lands is actually being used in Duel Links right now. However, you know, again, that's always subject to change. There you go. The first rough draft of SatellarKnights that I'm actually playing and actually having some success with. Definitely tell me your thoughts down below and what you think about Xyz being added to Duel Links as a whole. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and leave a thumbs up to show your support. Again, thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Again, this is MetallicTCG signing off, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.